Hey guys, I'm Pacey Setavantes. I am here with Ty Myers. Man, how are you doing? You're on a is it a lawn chair or you're in your backyard?
Well, I'm actually at my grandparents right now in South Tennessee, but I'm on a rocking chair. We got a beautiful view out here. There's like a
Yeah.
chicken right here. I didn't even see it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love it
I
when
didn't even
random
see it. It's like
animals makes
chicken.
a. Is that their chick? Is that their chicken or is it like
Yeah, that's their chicken. Oh yeah, they're all right here. There's about four of them right here.
Oh my God, I love that. Or is that like a place that you've been raised on?
No, 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 no. This is my grandparents' place in South Tennessee. They've lived here for a good chunk of my life at this point.
Yeah.
But we're just visiting. I just wrapped up recording in Muscle Shoals and not too far of a drive up, so we swung by.
Right. When it's when you say South Tennessee, is there like a specific area that they're in?
Well, let's call it near Columbia, because if I said the exact town, I'd hate to. It's like they're one of very few in that town.
Oh God. Okay. So we're not trying to dox them. I got you. I got you. I got you. Okay. So let me ask you about your career. I mean, it's taken off like real quick. And I hate to age myself, but you're on the younger end. You're 17, is it?
Yes, sir. 17.
So how is it being in the country industry at 17 compared to, I mean, you still have someone like Jason Aldean who is, still kind of in his prime and up there in age. Like how is that differential in age in the industry for you?
Well, I like to look at it more as you know, um, an advantage, because at this point in my life, obviously, you remember being my age.
Yeah.
It's a very influential and really important time of life, and I think it allows me to be a little more creative in a way that maybe some older people maybe and it's just different, because at this point in life, it's everything is changing so quick. Obviously, I'm set on one thing, and then the next month it's something else. And I mean, everybody remembers being this age. It's a crazy and emotional and just really important time of life. And so for a creative person like me, when I'm writing, it's it helps a lot, because I have a lot of a lot of different feelings, a lot of different whatever that may be. And I think it allows me to write in a way that I don't know if you know I'll be able to in maybe 20 years.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really magical thing, and I can definitely tell that it's important for me to use that as a creative tool almost.
Absolutely, dude. Oh, you already sound like hella mature for a 17 year
Oh
old.
God, I hope I'm not getting. We just started. Did I get too deep already?
No, no, you're good. You're good. You're good. Do you feel like that doing all this has kind of made you have to grow up a lot faster?
Oh, for sure. But I feel like in my heart of hearts, I've always idealized being, a mature, solid figure. I feel like, um, so I think maybe that's helped me get to this point, and this point has kind of advanced that that kind of thought or feeling. And so, maybe so, probably for sure. Obviously, I mean, I'd be in school right now if it wasn't, for this. So it's definitely been different. It's a different lifestyle, but I chose it, and I couldn't be happier with the decision.
Right. So and you're homeschooling, right? Are you about to graduate soon or are you
Well, homeschooling's loose. I feel like I'm at a point where I could be honest. I'm not really homeschooling at all.
Oh, okay.
But I could always go get my GED if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Um, I don't really feel a need for that right now. I
No,
don't
I
really have
mean,
time to study for my GED anyway. So
I hear you, dude. You're on the road, you're making, music, your life is crazy busy.
yeah,
So growing up though, from what I understand, your family has a history of music?
yes, yes, pretty deep history. I tell everybody, I I feel like I've said this in every interview, but I love it so much that I'll keep saying it. I
Yeah.
feel like it. thank God I fell in love with music, because if I didn't, I'd probably be miserable because it's around me everywhere I look, especially now. But even before, all of this happened, like I probably would have pulled my hair out because it was just like it was everywhere I looked. My dad was a singer songwriter, so obviously that was probably the main, in my house every day I heard him playing music and singing music.
Yeah.
And then, growing up, I would follow him to all of his shows on the weekends, and I lived for it. It was kind of all I could think about doing. It was I would get there, and as a kid, you see kids, in public places, they're hyper and wanting to run around. And no, when I got to the venue, I sat down and I listened, and it's like you couldn't pull my attention off of the stage. And so from an early age, it was kind of like that. My grandma played piano in church her whole life. My uncle started a band called Lone Star. Uh, and my other uncle, who's not blood related, but through marriage, he's the band leader, Ace in the Whole band, George Strait's band. And
Oh,
so,
no way.
yeah, and so it was again everywhere I looked, I couldn't get away from it. And so, yeah, I mean, it was either love it or hate it, and thank God I fell in love with it.
Right. And because you
Yeah.
loved it, do you feel like it helped like because I feel like music is more than just notes on a paper. Do you feel like it
Oh,
helped you grow
absolutely.
as a human, as an individual?
Oh, for sure. Because there's no outlet for emotions or stress or happiness or any of that for me like music. If like the most therapeutic thing on earth for me is to sit down and write a song, because I can say anything I want without any sort of feedback, whether that be positive, negative, anything. I can write all of my feelings down on a piece of paper and put that out to the world. And the best part about it is that I can make a living off of that
Yeah.
because
Dude,
people
that's
want to
what
listen to it.
yeah,
It's the
I
best
tell
thing on earth.
people all the time. It's like whatever you're passionate about, 9 times out of 10, if do it
Yeah.
with your heart, you're gonna make a living off of it,
Yeah. 999 times out of 1,000, you could make a living off of it. And
Exactly.
that's the best. Well, I mean, that's the best part about America is we have that opportunity.
Absolutely. It's the land of dreams, man. How long
Yeah.
have you been writing music for? Do you know?
I was probably 6 or 7 when I really started writing a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was kind of, for fun, obviously, at first. It's not
Yeah.
like I was sitting here like, oh, I'm going to get a cut. No, but like, it was everybody that I knew that did music wrote. So it wasn't like, it was kind of just a part of it, just like, learning chords on the guitar is, or, learning melodies. It's writing was just kind of what you did. So it helped also that when I started uh, writing, that's kind of what I really fell in love with at first. Even before, guitar and singing, the writing is what kind of spoke to me because it was just this, it was special to me, like everybody, not everybody can sing, but, like, there's a lot of people that can sing, there's a lot of people that can play guitar, but everybody who writes in their own special way
Yep.
and writes what means a lot to them, and that really spoke to me for sure.
Do you ever look at the music that you wrote like 5 years ago and either get inspired or like kind of cringe from it?
Um, well, I definitely look back. Um, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say maybe I could say both points maybe. I I could
Yeah.
see I could feel both of those feelings, and I could also say I don't feel I feel the opposite of those sometimes. Like if I look back, I'll be like, man, that wasn't a very good. Like I wouldn't be happy if I wrote that song now, but that's that's a pretty good song for an 11-year-old to write.
Yep.
And so it's just kind of cool to look back and see kind of how my brain has progressed through the years, because I never I taught myself pretty much everything. I mean, I so the cool part about it to me is to see how naturally I progressed because it wasn't like a forced thing, you know?
Yeah, it's actually going to be really cool in like 10 years from now
Yeah.
when you're able to look back and be like either like, wow, I was like that was a really cool time in my life, or like, wow, my mind was really messed up at that point, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, for sure, for sure. And that's every writer, and that's kind of it's a really cool thing to see uh you know, as writing goes, just to see, how, because it's kind of, it's a storybook of somebody's life, really.
Yep. Yeah. Now, you know, we've been talking about your past. Now, speaking of your future, or really
Yeah.
your present, actually, at this point, you've worked, am I right? You've worked with Willie Nelson?
Oh yeah, we I opened for Willie in Lubbock at Cook's Garage. That was, so I don't want to say a long time ago, but that was a while ago. That was a year and a half ago. That was a really, really, really cool moment to be able to share a stage like that. I've seen him before that. I've seen him, in person. I watched him play. But being on stage and seeing him that close and sharing the stage with him,
Yeah.
sharing that, moment in time was really magical. One of my favorite moments of my whole life, really.
Dude, I love that. And then working with Cody Johnson, how was that?
Oh, that was insane. Cody's a great, great, great guy. He's an amazing guy, and you know, I I've known Cody Johnson his music for a very, very long time. My uncle, who's a songwriter in Texas, actually opened for Cody Johnson for like 4 years. When he was in that grind your teeth stage of the career,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
so I and from Texas, obviously we knew about uh, Cody Johnson before anybody else, just like people from Alabama, Georgia knew about Riley Green before anybody else.
Yep.
And so I've been listening to Cody almost for 10 years now. So the majority of my life. So that was pretty wild too.
Is there any kind of, do they pull you aside and be like, hey man, you're young in the industry. This is the advice that I would tell myself at that age. Did they give you like any kind of advice?
Well, Cody's definitely uh that's the route Cody likes to go down. He's a very, I'm gonna take you under my wing kind of feeling.
I love
Obviously,
that.
Willie's he's older. He can't, he's like in off the bus, get on stage, play, back onto the bus,
Right. Right.
which is completely understandable.
Yep.
Like, you know, but yeah, Cody's just really an amazing human being. If I'm being honest, you can just it, it kind of it kind of just oozes out of him. You can kind of feel it,
Yeah. I love
Um,
hearing that. I love hearing
he's
that.
just very, very, um, open arms is the best way to describe it.
That's so cool. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So I don't know if this is an appropriate question to ask, but writing drinking songs at,
yeah,
the age of 17,
yeah.
um, what had you go down that road?
Well, so like we talked about earlier, I started writing at a very, very young age,
Yeah.
and so obviously I didn't have much life experience to write about. And it's funny because even at that time, it seemed corny to me to write about what I was going through. Like nobody wants to hear about what I'm doing in school. Like I'm not gonna like,
Right.
and so starting writing at that age, it's you got to use your mind. You got to be very creative. And so what I did at that point in time was I was really dissecting lyrics. I was listening to the Chris Christophersons, Merle Haggards, all of that old country stuff that my dad
Wow.
was kind of introducing me to, and really dissecting the lyrics. My mom likes to joke because I would go outside, she'd be on the porch or whatever. I'd run outside. I'd be like, listen to this lyric. I have seen the morning burning golden on a mountain in the sky. Name me one person that has written a line like that. You
Right.
can't. And so I would pretty much obsess over these lyrics, and I guess over time it kind of allowed me to everything in music is used,
Right.
so especially at that point in time, I had to use what I heard around
Yeah,
me.
I mean
And
half
so,
half half of country songs are about
well, yeah,
booze, you
absolutely.
know?
Yeah, exactly. And so the key to me was writing about what people want to hear, but writing it in a way that is different than what you hear all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of my thing back then. And it's still really my thing now. It's just I have more life experience to write about. So now I can write about personal stuff a little more. And that I find, I love that a little more just because I feel more connected to
Yeah.
it through that. But, having a creative mind is was really what drove me at an early age to
No,
write about stuff that maybe, I hadn't experienced. But also let's talk about, I am from Texas.
right.
We grew up in a small town. Let's not act like I don't want to. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm a, choir boy.
Right. No, that's so funny. But I mean,
Yeah,
listen, speaking of personal experiences, I like to ask this because I feel like mental health um
yeah,
isn't talked about enough, especially like you and I were dudes. So I feel like a lot of times mental health is specifically for men are not really talked about. And I know you're a super busy guy. You know,
yeah,
you're up and you're a rising star, dude. You are a hustler. And so when you're in that hustle mode and you're doing all these things, touring, writing music, opening for people, like all this stuff, what do you do? Is there anything specifically you do that allows you to keep your mental health in check?
yeah. Well, I think the key for me and other people in situations like me and I think the number one thing is to slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down because there's no need to go 100 miles an hour. Why would enjoy the moment you're in, take a deep breath, look around you, and realize that it's okay right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's
mean, they
okay
have that.
right now. Everything else could go away tomorrow. I could have nothing, but it's okay right now.
I love that.
You know, and so be thankful for what you have, and realize that you don't need anything else. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't strive for more. But you don't. It's not a necessity
Damn.
because you have everything you need.
That's deep, dude. That's actually really like, I gotta say, like your parents raised a really mature like person because like I at my age I don't even that's not like you're teaching me something here about
No.
being grateful in life. Just it's cliche, but you stop and smell the roses.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
Dude, that's awesome. Ty Myers, thank you so much for coming on. I know you're a busy guy, so I don't want to
absolutely.
keep
No,
you.
thank you for having me.